My name's Anita, and today I'm going to show you the learning process towards sewing on a button. The reason for doing this task is to show how certain people learn and different ways in which we can learn using trial and error, and to learn about how we can build our own teacher identity through the learning process. When Mum was showing me how to sew, I watched her carefully and listened to every instruction she was giving me. From this, I used the social learning theory to learn how to sew. After getting all my resources together, I was ready to begin. So I'm doing this motion approximately 6 to 8 times to ensure that it's in tight. I did the sewing from the front to the back approximately 6 times. I went back to the inside where this threading is, and then I tied a knot. And I did this carefully so I'd ensure it was closest to the pair of shorts, so it's not away, so it keeps the button in there really tight. I did that, and then after that, I cut the knot, and here we have it. I have 3 buttons on each side, and I did it. I've sewn the button on. Throughout this process, I used intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is derived from the engagement in an activity that also fosters some sort of positive consequence. The positive consequence was getting to wear my favourite shorts again. In comparison with the behaviourist approach to learning, both intrinsic motivation and the behaviourist approach to learning allowed me to wear my favourite shorts again, which means that was my reward, that was my positive consequence that came out of it. Through the cognitive approach to learning, I realised through Piaget's developmental stages I was able to complete this task. Being in the formal operational stage allowed me to complete this task. I used problem solving by finding other ways to learn how to complete this task through trial and error and my problem solving abilities. If it wasn't for this being in the stage of development, I wouldn't have been able to complete this task. Throughout the process, I had to use trial and error to see how I could work best. Although it was difficult, I made it through. The one major thing I learnt from this is to always reflect upon my actions by reflecting on the events as they are. This style of individual and misguided learning taught me that I don't always need to use a knowledgeable other. I can use the learning skills that I use within misguided and individual learning. In the future, I will need to change the ways in which I learn and teach that best fits each student